There isn't a better feeling than working with your hands because you've turned nothing into something.
Working with my hands just makes me feel whole. It makes me feel like I have a purpose. To see their face at the end of the project and see them light up, it's
really a huge reason we do what we do.
You get really drained. It takes a lot out of you. You make mistakes. There's sometimes one mistake, sometimes 10 mistakes. You got to go back and fix it. But at the end of it, to see their face, it makes up for all of that.
Are my eyebrows fine? You know how they flare up?
Your eyebrows are fine, Carlina.
Ready?
My name's Patrick Palazzo, and I'm a woodworker.
And I'm Carlina Sacco, and I'm a woodworker, and we own Barren Pallet Works. I mostly make signs and mosaics out of reclaimed wood.
And I mostly make heirloom furniture.
We are in Hammonton, New Jersey.
The blueberry capital of the world.
Yep. So we are in South Jersey. Hammonton's a small farm town. It's kind of in the middle of everything. We're about 25 minutes from the beach, about 35 minutes from the city.
It's really nice. I mean, it's just a small town. Everyone knows each other. And
everyone supports small businesses here, which is really cool.
I was a super creative kid, probably worrisome to the adults.
For me, I mostly played sports growing up. I had no creative background whatsoever.
I did sports that were looked down on by a wide majority of adults.
But then when we started dating and I started woodworking, I kind of picked that up pretty quickly. I kind of found that outlet, and he taught me the basics, and then I kind of was self-taught mostly. Never touched a saw till 2019 was the first time I touched a saw.
Yeah,
other than that, it was just sports growing up, really.
I've always been handy. My dad has worked with his hands his whole life, so there was always tools around. There wasn't really a start. I kind of just always had it. If I needed to fix something, I would just run out back, grab the tools, and fix it.
Yeah, I feel like a big one probably was when you built out the skoolie.
I moved out west to San Diego and was kind of doing travel photography and videography and bouncing around. And I renovated a short bus, which insert jokes here. Yeah, so I lived in that for probably around 2 years. It was just me. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about electrical and solar and plumbing and putting in floors and just all kinds of stuff. So that renovation took probably around a month. It was a blast. I still have the skoolie to this day. It's actually in my yard.
I use it as storage for the festival now. The bed folds down into the back. That's a bathroom. Got a stove and an oven, refrigerator, sink.
Once me and Patrick started dating, he started working in the shop more. So when I'd come home from college, I would go hang out with him in the wood shop. And instead of staring, I'd be like dabbling with all of his scrap pieces and whatnot. So he was teaching me how to use some of the saws. I kind of just was like, oh, I really enjoy this. And then he went into a festival and like started selling some of this stuff, and I went over that weekend and made a bunch of mountain mosaics, and they all sold that weekend, which was crazy. I was like, I can't believe somebody wants to buy my art. And then it just took off after that. I had a year and a half left of college, and I finished it out, got my degree, and now I'm just paying for my degree and not using it. And then once I graduated college, I went full-time woodworker. What?
Proud of you.
Thanks.
So it actually started with me and my dad, and I put up guardrail, and we worked for the same company. So we would get laid off during the winter. I needed my own table, so I built a coffee table for myself, and it kind of snowballed from there. Carlina sold the coffee table out from under me overnight on Facebook Marketplace.
I liked it. I thought other people would like it too.
Yeah, and she thought I needed money, so she sold it without telling me. And then, so I made an identical one for myself, and she sold it in 2 days without telling me.
And then they came back for end tables.
Yeah, so I still don't have a coffee table.
You know.
But yeah, it was me and my dad for probably around 2 years. He was like heavily involved. He came up with the name and everything. we're in the Pine Barrens in southern New Jersey. So Barren Pallet Works, we were using mostly pallets just to save money, and it kind of stuck. We don't use pallets as much now, but it's still, we can't change the name, it's too late now.
We're at a time that I never thought we'd be at least yet. It's crazy to me that we talk about a lot that we want in our future. We'll sit down and be like, where do we see ourselves in 10 years? Where do we see ourselves in 5 years?
Conversations
Like
all the time.
Like weekly almost. And one of the conversations we had recently, it's now coming to light, which our shop now.
Yeah, which is what you're sitting in currently.
Yeah. And it's crazy how within a year we had this conversation, a year ago.
Back when we first started, again, it was just me and my dad in the garage. Carlina would kind of dabble. It was actually before she was dabbling. She was really just selling all of my furniture without telling me. But we were actually borrowing a chop saw, a miter saw from our neighbor that was out of whack. We couldn't align it. The blade was all shot. I didn't realize you could I didn't even know you could change blades. I thought we just needed a new saw.
So within 3 years, I guess it's been?
Yeah, we went from my dad's garage. I mean, we're still there currently, but it's like a 1.5 car garage in the backyard of my house. And now we're sitting in a 2,500 square foot shop with a 1,000 square foot storefront that we're trying to open in the next month, which would be mid-June 2023. We never thought we'd be doing this for a living, let alone every single day of our lives doing what we enjoy and love, and it's
all happening.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, we have no choice now.
So this is our storefront. Come on in. Welcome to the storefront. We have a lot going on. We have the spackler coming, the finished spackling. We have windows going in on Monday. We got a lot of work to do in here.
Yeah, the whole window section, this entire thing will be a storefront window. Gotta finish the bathroom, put in a window there with a little bar.
So this is going to be a window that you can look through, so while you're shopping around, we'll be in the back working, so you can either come in and check on the product that we're making for you, or just come and see what we're working on. We'll always be working on something different.
It's like Santa's workshop.
Yeah, but this is kind of where we'll showcase our product and a couple local makers as well. Welcome to my crib. This is going to be where all of the magic happens. So like we've talked about before, we're definitely upgrading on size.
Yeah, we'll have an office up top to get out all of our shipped items, do all of our paperwork, and then all of our tools will be spread out all over, which will help greatly because her and I are now tripping over each other in our little 1.5 car garage.
A big wall there that says the workshop with marquee letters.
The wood shop.
The wood shop.
This will be all of our industrial tools lined up right here. And that.
Game changer.
This is going to be our pour room and spray room.
Finishing room.
Yeah, it's essentially our finishing room. We're super excited.
We are on a mission because we are all gonna start getting hangry soon.
Because Carlina's already
I'm there. But we're gonna go get burgers from one of our favorite burger spots called Sad Boys.
It's the best.
It is the best. And I told him we'll be there in 15 minutes, but we're actually 25 minutes away.
I would say more like 35 minutes away.
Okay. So I focus more on large scale mosaics. I'm getting into a lot of different hardwood mosaics right now and signage. I started with mosaics mainly, and then Patrick kind of forced me into doing some scroll saw work, which I'm grateful for. So I mainly do that, and I also do signage. I've been working on a lot of hardwood signs too, which I'm really enjoying and getting into that.
Yeah, I kind of take on like almost any project we can, mostly because we have to pay rent for this place. But I'm weaning off of pallet furniture and into more hardwoods and like heirloom furniture, stuff you could pass down to your kids and the next generation, stuff like that that has a story. That's really what I want to build and what I'm like directing my side of the business to. We've been shipping it all over the country.
Yeah,
like you
Texas,
said.
California, a few things to Canada. Our apparel though has really gone everywhere. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And we started coming up with some fun logos and designs, and we equally sell as much apparel now than as woodworking.
Yeah, we probably make almost half of our income from apparel, which is odd.
Yeah.
We have new designs for our apparel, and they're all gone.
So our new apparel is going to include the Jersey Devil, and the Jersey Devil is South Jersey's folklore. The Jersey Devil started off when Mother Leeds found out she was having her 13th child, and when she found out, she cursed the child. And the night that she had the Jersey Devil, or her 13th child, she gave birth to something with wings, a horse head, a tail, it had horse hoofs, which was the Jersey Devil. And that night he fled into the Pine Barrens, and ever since, for over 250 years, the Jersey Devil has cursed our pine lands, I guess.
Has been,
Yeah.
the thing of horror stories
Yeah.
for 250 years.
Since Barren Pallet Works has started, we've gone through a lot of obstacles. There's been a ton of like hardships, but this maker community has really held us up. If it wasn't for the community, we would not be Barren Pallet Works anymore. In the very beginning, we built it was technically a shed according to our town, but we called it the Pallet House. And it was a place where we could store our overstock. We documented the entire process. We drew it up and built it from our hearts, and it was something that we built during COVID. It was me, Carlina, my dad, my mom, her parents came over. Everyone came together to build this thing, and it was just something that we held near and dear to our hearts. And June 23rd of 2021, we woke up at 2 a.m. My mom heard this loud noise. She said it sounded like a jet engine. She went outside and it was engulfed in flames. There was a fire due to small little twinkle lights that we bought on Amazon. Thank goodness we had a metal roof on there, because if it wasn't for that, I think my whole house would have lit on fire. The pallet house was around 20 feet from our house. And it was one of the scariest moments of my life. Carlina was there that night. We all just woke up in a panic, and my sister was still in the house, like everyone's just panicking, and it was just a really scary situation. We lost everything that was in there. We lost the pallet house itself and all of the stories and memories, and thank goodness we documented it. It changed the whole course of our business. If it wasn't for the community coming together directly after the pallet house, we had friends drive up 8 hours the next day to help us with the cleanup, to help us stay on track and keep our heads up.
Mm-hmm. It really, if it wasn't for the community, I don't think Barren Pallet Works would be here right now. Everybody was reaching out and helping us.
It changed the whole course of our business.
Yeah.
My parents were shook. They almost lost not only the pallet house, but they almost lost their entire livelihood, their house, everything they worked towards.
Yeah.
So they were out of it for a year. We were out of it for a little while. We tried to drown ourselves in work. which turned out to be a good thing. So the community came together and helped donate to rebuild. We got the okay to rebuild from the town, and then our mayor got voted out. We had nothing in writing. So the new mayor got voted in, and we had to completely stop the rebuild, and we had to fight to continue our business on our property. We had all of these funds gathered by the community for the rebuild, and we had no idea what to do with them. So to give back to the community, we decided to bring everyone together after COVID and throw a festival. And thus the Pine Barren Makers Fest 2022 was born.
Yeah.
And drew in a little over 10,000 people that weekend. We were shooting for like 3,000. It blew us away. We had makers and friends that we've only known through the internet for years show up and show their support and
Be a part of the festival.
yeah, they were a part of the festival. We've always talked about throwing a festival. The fire just kind of expedited that process. So we did it in a year. We had around 8 months to plan it, and we were able to bring in a little over 100 vendors for that weekend to a small little field in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
We brought
Middle of
people
farmland.
from all over the country. It's
It was cool.
crazy. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't be here. Yeah, working with your hands is something, and working for yourself every day. From afar, it looks great. You view all these people and they're doing what they love, but they're working 7 days a week. If we're not physically woodworking, we're editing, we're filming,
Updating the website.
we're updating websites, we're answering emails. We work 7 days a week, probably 10 to 12-hour days if we're lucky. When we first started, we really directed our approach at social media because we saw a return in sales. So we put all of our efforts into that, and we were working, I would say, around 8 hours a day, whether it was filming for social media, editing for social media, drafting, posting, writing captions.
So we would either work on our phones in the morning, go woodwork, and then work on our phones again. I don't think people realize like how much time really goes into it. And I think it was definitely a learning process for our family because they were like, well, why aren't you working? Why aren't you working? You're on your phone. But we were working. Like without social media, we wouldn't have the business we have today. So it's like we have woodworking and then we have a full-time social media business as well. Working for yourself, you think that you can just take off and go do some fun things, but we've missed out on a lot of family stuff because we work for ourselves, which could be hard sometimes. We have nobody else doing everything. We're wearing all the hats, so we have to accomplish everything, just the two of us.
Just the two of us. Clark, can you come over here and just check this for me if you see any spots? It's more than worth it. You're working for your own self, your passion project.
I keep telling myself that because there's certain things that I'll push off and I'll be like, Carlina, a year from now will be really stoked that you just went for it and did it.
We're paying the troll.
So the Jersey Devil doesn't eat us. I'm coming in.
We give them to friends and family,
Yeah.
and then we get to see them randomly throughout the state.
Literally. We found some in Key West too.
Yeah,
Like all the way in Florida.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Just everybody gets like 10 stickers and they just
Put them on
stickers
signs
slap.
and
Yeah.
bars and
Sticker slap.
bridges. Mainly our support started with our family. For some reason, they believed in us from the very beginning. And now it's grown through thousands and thousands of people that just support us throughout each day, really telling us to keep going. They're proud of us. It means a lot to us coming especially from strangers, because those are the people that are going to tell you the truth. Your mom never tells you the truth. She's a liar.
I think though, like our family is like probably our biggest support though. I come from a very, very close family. My parents are my best friends, like through and through. They have supported us in and out. His parents have always been there for us.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much. Even throwing a massive festival, they were there hands-on, cleaning the porta potties, emptying the trash cans, doing everything for us that we needed done. And we wouldn't be here without them.
My dad let us take his man cave. I mean, he had his own garage, and he hasn't had a garage in 4 years.
We have a lot of new things happening, but I think the biggest new thing is that we are currently standing in
the new wood shop.
Yes.
We looked through the window and we were like, wow, this would be the perfect space, the space that we've been talking about.
24 hours we found out who the owner was, and we also found out that the current tenants that were in here were moving out after 73 years of being in here.
Like destiny, like we were meant to be in here. Fingers crossed, once we open, it'll be a hit. And if not, we'll tank and light the whole thing on fire like we always do.
We could do a lot in here, and I'm really excited to see what it comes of, or what it comes to.
Good fun.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
Yeah. All right, so we are at Blue Rascal Distillery in Hammonton. This is a really cool distillery that we have, and it's really special to Patrick and I because we both have a piece in this distillery. Patrick has a table that he created, and I have a 3-piece mosaic, which till this date, it is still my largest mosaic that I've made. It has copper foil in it, and it has moss in it, and it's still my favorite mosaic.
With the side road being, with the, what is it?
You're talking about the festival?
So we'll be having farmers markets and festivals, and hopefully bringing the maker community to Hammonton. You can show your creative side and be a part of a community. That's all I have to say.
Take that fluff down on that side.
Don't tell me what to do.
Okay. Let me see how I look.
You look beautiful. Bonita. That's Italian. What you just did.
I know.
I think Bonita's Spanish.
It's Spanish. Jump it.
There's no way.
So right now our future is within this building and our festivals.
I was waiting for him to eat it.
Obviously, we're going to continue our custom orders and stuff like that, but this building and its storefront, I'm hoping will be a drastic change in our timeline, and it will bring a whole new demographic of people to be aware of the maker community and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thinking back to the pallet house and the fire, if it wasn't for the fire itself and the negative things that have happened with this business, we wouldn't have the opportunity to be in this building, to expand our business, have a storefront, throw the festivals. So when things happen in life and they seem like the worst, most detrimental thing at the time, it might be a stepping stone that you need that will help you proceed to the next best thing.
And grow.
And grow,
Yeah.
whether that be in your life or your business.
Go all the way back. None of this would have happened if the
wasn't-
pallet house didn't
Yeah,
burn
the
down.
timeline was the fire. The fire led to the community coming together. The community led to us having the financial ability to throw the festival, to bring the community together. And while we were planning that festival, we just so happened to stumble upon this. So without that fire, we would not have any of the things that we have today.
As sad as it is, like everything really does happen for a reason.
It's definitely a life lesson that I didn't know I needed until it happened. I thought bad things were just bad things. And when they happen to you, it sucks. And now I look back on it and I'm not grateful that it happened. I'm not thankful that it happened.
But I wouldn't change anything.
But I wouldn't change it for the world because
Yeah.
we wouldn't be who we are today.
Look, our toilet's here.